And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the STC week number 67 even. Number 67. It's going to be back once again. Of course, I'm your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and my plushies as well. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is full of amazing players, and we are jumping into our first series of the evening. We're jumping into a PvT, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is ReBellioN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Mexican Terran player, the red Terran. It is TortugaVil. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Again, it's great to be back once again. For those that are curious, welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. This is a weekly tournament that we host here on the Cranky Ducklings every single week. It is also funded by the community, for the community as well. Exclamation mark Patreon if you want to help support this tournament. Likewise, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat as well if you want to help boost the prize pool for this specific event as well. So you can do so via Patreon, you can do so via Matcherino. Otherwise, let's settle on in. We'll go over the bracket after this series. For now, we have our PvT. And again, oh, before I forget, my apologies. Bappy, it's Gamba time. It is time to Gamba. Predictions are open. Place your bets in the chat if you guys want to, of course, put your channel points on the line for this series. In the early rounds, you know, it is some of these bigger pro players facing off against some of these smaller names instead. So it's going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle for Tortuga. I will say, again, ReBellioN, he is, you know, a top player. He is, I would say, one of the best Koreans in the bracket at the moment, actually. We can have a look at the bracket later. I'll expand on that. But I do love casting some ReBellioN. Likewise, Tortuga, he is more of an amateur player, does compete in some of our amateur tournaments. I'm referring to Sea Duckling Open or Master Swan Open. Shout out to Tortuga as well, because right now it is a god-awful time in Latin America. I have to call him a degen now. I have to... What time is it in Mexico? Hold on. Okay. I want to say 4 a.m. Let's check. Mexico time. I was close. 3:20 a.m. in the morning. Este Tortuga. shaking my head. So 3 a.m. in the morning. Again, we always champion, or I always praise whenever we get an NA player or a Latin American player, just because it's a pretty bad time to be competing. Same with watching as well. If you're out there, you're a passionate one, or you're on a degen sleep schedule. One or the other. I mean, both can still be passionate. So much love here to Tortuga. For now, is going for a double gas opener, double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. With this is going to what looks to be initially heli in production. Meanwhile, the probe does slip in. That was not ideal, but the probe gets a full scan of the main base, gets a read of what's going on. It confirms there are no fast add-ons yet. It is going to be the Stargate opener for ReBellioN. This is going to be Stargate, I imagine, into Phoenix, could be into Oracle. We'll see which one ReBellioN does decide to embrace. Likewise, back at home, he's setting up a very safe play here with the shield battery, with the overcharge, with the patrolling stalker as well. To have the adept across the map just to try to get some scan information. It is going to be shut down, but actually it's going to bring down the Hellion. Very nice pick of Hellion. It does fall. So nice pick up for ReBellioN. Meanwhile, he shades into the mineral line. Oh, will delay the CC. Already some big damage being dealt, and across the map I assumed it was going to be an Oracle or a Phoenix, but no, ReBellioN coming out of left field, going for the Void Ray. Now, thankfully, Tortuga does scout. He does confirm it is going to be a Void Ray initially. We can see, though, it's going to be Void Ray into Twilight Council, not into Skytoss or anything crazy like that, but still, the Void Ray start is an odd one. The reason why is because both Phoenixes and Oracles, as another SCV goes down, but Oracles and Phoenixes, the advantage that they have is their speed. They're able to get across the map, they're able to scout the opponents, able to get a read on what's going on from the side of the Terran player, harass mineral lines as well. Void Rays are that much less effective, and typically the role of the Void Ray in this matchup is more of a defensive unit. You can use them to cheese, of course, like proxy Void Ray, but if you make one back at home, it is just to be really safe and secure. Typically, in pro play, you only see a Void Ray if you scat an all-in. Like, if you happen to be going for a Stargate opener already, you confirm there's like a one-base all-in coming your way, then a Void Ray does make the most sense. Here, it's more of an oddity, I'll be honest. It's interesting here by ReBellioN. As the Void Ray will get some damage across the map, gets one SCV. Back at home, Tortuga getting ready for his drop. Back at home, does deflect. He does finally finish up his CC. Did take some time. 2 more SCVs did go down. Drop is slipping into the main base. There's 1 Cyclone, there's 4 Marines, and damage can be done as it's slipping into the mineral line. Probes can't go down. Bearing in mind, these are vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields. Probes are gonna fall. At the same time, Void Ray once again does dip forward, takes down a Marine, forced to recall. It does force a recall into the main base. Void Ray can be targeted down. Oh, we're going for the pylon. Pylon falls. Void Ray as well. Barely save that medevac. Just barely though, as it's gonna fall to the Stalkers. And this is gonna be a one-way trip. But honestly, this drop didn't do too poorly. It got a handful of probes, depowered all these gateways, got a Void Ray. It's not a bad trade. Will be cleaned up. That is true. And ReBellioN did get away with a third and does have a massive worker lead, so unfortunately Tortuga needed more damage. Like the drop itself, it was okay, but did desperately need more. Because of the earlier delays on the expansion, Tortuga, he is quite far behind here in the economy. He needs time to recover, to build up. He's going to tank a Banshee. Banshee production has begun. This can hit quite hard, but again, this has all been delayed just because of the early game. Well, the first Banshee has arrived. Cloak is done. And we are slipping into the natural, but oh, there is an observer in position. Yeah, last already an observer coming out. It is moving out with the main army, so because of that, damage can still be done. Quickly checking, there's only 1 observer on the map, so it's just the one. Oh, getting eyes on the tuna. Beautiful. Banshee does hit the natural, but there's a shield battery. And there is a shield battery. Comply time. Second observer is being chronoed out. First one does not turn back. And the Banshee slips into the main, denying a lot of mining time. Again, not bad. Considering the Banshee should survive. Gets a lot of damage. Second Banshee towards the natural. The first one hasn't gotten a probe yet and will be cleaned up. And the Banshee does now fall. And the concerning thing here is that once this second Banshee gets found and goes down, there's nothing really keeping ReBellioN pinned back at home. Like, he is fully saturated on 3 bases, he has a gateway explosion getting into +1, into blink, charge is done as well. What I'm saying is, now ReBellioN can focus on warpins. He's been skipping warpins for quite some time. Now he can focus on them, build up an army, and move that across the map. Tortuga back at home, I mean, he does have a force of his own. The observer does confirm this. Does have a decent army here now with Stim finishing up and all those upgrades. The Bio army can hold its own. The question becomes, is Tortuga going to be the first to move out? Does he commit to an all-in? I don't see a third CC. Happy. Do we pull the boys? As the army moves out, the observer does confirm. And ReBellioN, he's coming in for a drop into the main for a warp in. He's looking to force the all-in. 8 probe kills, which is why I would not be opposed to pulling the boys here, but especially since there are no Colossus, there's no splash damage, just Zealots. Tortuga, he has potential. Prison does slip into the main. And if ReBellioN spends a warp in, okay, no, he's warping in back at home. There is an Archon as well. That's a lot of Zealots, that's a lot of charge, thus Sparky. And there's just not enough of a buffer. Widowmines that will burrow. 1 Widowmine shot goes off, the other will as well, but there's just not enough fire. Not enough Marines, not enough Marauders. Likewise, tanks were caught unsieged. And thankfully for Tortuga, the warp-in didn't quite go off. If ReBellioN had warped in across the map, then maybe Tortuga could have had enough to have broken through this. There would have been significantly less Zealots to defend, and we would have been lacking that Archon. But last, the Observer saw everything. If you recall, the Observer did spot the move out, so ReBellioN, he was fully prepared for it. Was ready for it, and now there's nothing left. Now we have a third TC on the way on location. It's an ambitious third map, very ambitious. But I don't see this finishing up, and I don't see us defending either. There's 1 Widowmine, there's 0 tanks, no ghosts. There's no real secure way to deal with this amount of Zealots without SimCity. And the natural is wide open. Ooh, Widowmine shot gets wasted, no! Widowmine shot goes off. And with that ReBellioN, he will break the natural, bust into the main. And Tortuga, he's got his final stand here at the ramp. He's going to try and do whatever damage he can with what little is left. But the warpins, they continue. GG gets called, and ReBellioN will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played, ReBellioN will take the first game, as he does. A shout out to Infestor in the chat. Thank you so much, God. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Cranky Ducklings. Welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. We just started the tournament. This is a weekly open tournament, open to all regions, open to all shapes, open to all sizes as well. And the bracket is live. The bracket, you can check it out over in the chat. For now, we're focusing on our first series. We're jumping into game number 2. This is a fresh best of 3. I mean, we just wrapped up game 1, and I'm curious where game 2 is going to take place. I'm curious. Also, before I forget, do you want to give a shout out to Baby Links as well? Before the, or I should say during the countdown timer stream scene, did resubscribe for 20 months, almost 2 years, almost 2 years of support. Gracias, papi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support as we are setting up for our next game. I should also fix up the out of game race logos. Bam, there we go. Is fixed up. Garden Gaming had a good stream. Oh, Garden Gaming, like Stardew Valley. Hope you had a good time. Oh, it's Senju. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. But I hope your garden is flourishing and you're able to harvest well. Oh, I see. Play out your outside stream? Crazy. Be careful out there. There's animals outside. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, and we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Clan NWCE. It is ReBellioN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Mexican Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Tortuga. La Tortuga, pa. Let's go. And again, ReBellioN is coming in as the heavy favorites, but a shout out to Tortuga for competing here tonight, for staying up deep late into the night as well. I mentioned before that it is, 3 a.m. in Mexico. Still out here, still competing. You love to see it. Now, if you recall, in the last game, Tortuga did open up double gas. It was a double gas opener, and once again, double gas from the Terran player. This will mean that we have a faster factory, a more delayed CC, and of course, ReBellioN does confirm. As a result, we should be seeing a bit of a safer start from ReBellioN. If you recall, last game, we saw a safety shield battery. We had a safety stalker patrolling back at home. And we'll see if Tortuga has a bit of a different build up his sleeve. Last game did try to incorporate some Cloak Banshees, and they were getting some damage done. Same with the drop as well. Like, they weren't yeah, they were able to get some damage, of course. Unfortunately, you know, his move out was scouted. His CC was delayed, if you recall. It was a rocky start with the CC being heavily delayed. I believe the building SCV was killed twice. And then another 2 SCVs went down as well to a Depterass. But I'm hoping that Tortuga can secure himself. For now, there's that factory. Factory gets placed, ReBellioN back at home, getting to his own setup. Gate into Cybercore. As the probe once again, does not get into the main. It's being such a nuisance though. Oh my god, oh, does he get it? He does! ReBellioN. Who am I thinking of? Not Farmy. Stephen Curry, is that you? Stephen Curry is another Korean Protoss player who is known for his probe harass and is very devastating with his probe. ReBellioN doing his best Stephen Curry impression. Does get an SCV, will get out of there. Reaper is hunting for the probe, but alas, will not find it. The Adept has arrived, and we have the CC on location once again. This time, though, can Tortuga keep it alive? I'm not so sure. Oh no, the Reaper goes down. Reaper goes down, SCV as well, and just like the previous game, the CC is going to be delayed. Would you have additional Reaper production? Interesting. Okay, so the opener is different this time for Tortuga. Would you have the reactor on the racks, reactoring out as many Reapers as possible, Hellion as well. Now, this opener can do a lot of damage. The point of this opener, the ideal, is you mass up your Reaper Hellion, you avoid the scouts, so you keep your opponent in the dark. You get across the map and you get into a mineral line. But ReBellioN, he just scouted with that Adept. He's aware of the Adept Hellion, sorry, of the Reaper Hellion, and ReBellioN should be walling up. He should be creating SimCity here and getting ready for what comes next for the army. ReBellioN does hack in, gets another delay on the CC. SCV goes down for the second time. Tortuga, ooh, for a moment he did pull back home. He thought about it. The wall is open, and can he get into the mineral line? Oh, no shield battery either. Uh-oh. Without a shield battery, we could try to go for the Stalker. Instead, going for the probes. Tortuga does dive in. SimCity working against him, but the probes are going to be trapped, and workers are going to go down. Massive Hellion volleys. And how many more can we get? We get 3 so far. Just the 3. So many of these probes are so low. One more volley would have been enough. But last, only 3 probes. And the problem here is that Tortuga lost 3 workers as well. He lost 3 SCVs to the Adept, and the CC is still not done. Oh. So Tortuga once again just having a rocky start to the game, moving out with a Cyclone drop. But ReBellioN, he just doesn't stop, doesn't slow down, rallying everything across the map. And with this Stalker army, ReBellioN, he could force a cancel. Yeah. he can and he will. He will force a cancel. Oh, CC has to be rebuilt on the high ground instead. A brutal position for Tortuga. Across the map, going for the drop. I mean, Stalkers are out of position. They might be forced to recall back home. Speaking of, this time it was a Twilight Counter opener of the Stargate. The Cyclones, they will get in. And probes are going down. Not bad. Not a bad amount of damage. ReBellioN does not recall. Oh. But he might have to. There's a tank on the high ground. There is a tank. 6 probe kills so far. Oh, the juggling. Oh no. But Blink is done, and it looks like the Medivacs and the Cyclones are going to be targeted down. Nice clean up here by ReBellioN. And now he can focus across the map. Picking up that final Cyclone. Speaking of ReBellioN, he does spot the tanks. There are 2 of them. The Observer sees all, confirms the tech lab on the starport. Tortuga, he sees the Observer. Up, he wants it. He sees. The Marines are trying to chase it down, but ReBellioN, he knows. And he does get away. Does escape the Marines. And as a result, as things do settle from here, ReBellioN, he may have lost 6 workers, but he's on triple Nexus. He's rebuilding, he's remaxing. He didn't throw away his Stalkers thanks to the Observer. He knew there was a tank on the high ground, so it didn't overextend. We'll see where ReBellioN can go from here. Oh. As Tortuga finally can expand. Oh, going for the Observer, and he won't be able to get it. It's an unfortunate scan here for the Terran. It happens. I mean, I think it was last week, Beyond versus Nightmare, where Beyond, he scanned like 3 times for Nightmare's Observer and he didn't get it. Like, it happens, Matthew, it happens. Even to Beyond. And behind this, ReBellion's just chilling. He's just containing his opponent. I would not be opposed, especially because of how delayed the natural is, I would not be opposed to pulling the boys. I would not be opposed to just going into a 2-base all-in from here. Tortuga, he does feign aggression, moves out for a moment. ReBellioN has his Onaga, trying to get eyes on the move out. If Tortuga were to pull the boys, then the Observer will confirm. So ReBellioN will have to back off. Behind this, ReBellioN building up. The storm is almost done. There is a small window. It's not large enough. Not like this. Storm is done in 5 seconds, just in time for this move out. Tortuga rotating around, trying to find another way in. does avoid the main ramp. But now there's High Templar, and now there's 2 storms, and they're coming in! The storms! Massive storms, and just like the Bio Army, it's shattered. Not enough HP, not enough Marines, tanks are going down, and ReBellioN will just shut this down. He will clean up the army, and there's nothing left. Nothing left. The storm was brutal. Took the storm to the face. And now ReBellioN can snowball from here. There's not much to stop him. There's a 3rd CC on the way. It's almost halfway done. If given time, Tortuga can expand and take a 3rd. But after that fight, ReBellioN, the only thing really keeping him back is his lack of High Templar. He just warped them in. They're still gathering energy. There's no storm available yet. But ReBellioN should still be feeling quite confident. Yeah, and he's moving out. Is moving out from here. Tortuga behind this going for a drop. Whatever he can do, Papi. Whatever he can do. Slipping in. Getting into the mineral line. And he should force a defensive warp in. Yeah, there we go. A couple of Stalkers are forced to warp in back at home. Drop going into the main. Another warp in. But last, the main army is undeterred. Likewise, the Observer does see everything out the turret. Observer finally goes down. Let's go. Observer goes down. Tortuga rebuilding, remaxing. He's got 1 Widow Mine behind this. He does have some decent SimCity, better than last game. True, I will say that. Is better than the previous game, but alas, here come the storms. And now they're ready. Once again, a massive storm in the Bio Army, and there's 2 more storms left. There's a 2nd, and where's the final one? Not going to be sent in the mineral line. There it is, the final storm. SCVs are going down. We got a Might Shot going off. GG gets called, and ReBellioN will take the series 2-0. We'll advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to ReBellioN. Again, he came in as the heavy favorite. ReBellioN, he is a semi-pro from Korea. He is GM, of course, so he's coming in to even make a deeper run in the tournament. But a shout out to Tortuga. Again, I always champion some of these more amateur players competing in these open cups. Tortuga, he is I saw some people asking, he's a diamond player. He is diamond. And Tortuga, he's even staying up until, what, almost 4 a.m. in the morning to compete in this. So much love to Tortuga. Much love. He does, yeah, he's in the chat. Yeah, Papi, even in the chat as well. So big shout out to Tortuga. We'll see you next time, Papi. Best of luck, best of luck. I hope to see you in future SDOs and see Duckling Opens. Regardless, get some rest. It's almost 4 a.m, Papi. Get some sleep. GG, well played. And congratulations to ReBellioN, who will advance on into the quarterfinals, and now we can focus on our next series and on the bracket. Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket has been progressing.